What's up, sports fans? It's your man B back. Speak your mind, sports talk. All right, check it out, guys. We talking Terence Crawford today. Terence Crawford under fire for the love of sports. Let's talk about it. All right, man. So we done had Canelo under fire. We put Anthony Joshua under fire. We put Tyson Fury under fire. We put Monster Nui under fire. Today, we're putting Terence Crawford under fire because it's about that time for me now. I gave Terence Crawford a lot of heat in the beginning because I'm an Aerosmith fan. Basically, I was going after the Aerosmith detractors. You guys know how it goes. And it got to the point where I was like, you know what? I started defending Terence Crawford. I'm like, these guys don't want to fight him. And, they can easily make the fight with him. They're doing the same thing to Terence Crawford that they did to Errol Spence. So I defended Terence Crawford. Well, now it's to the point where I'm tired of Crawford foolishness again. I'm tired of how long are we going to give this guy a pass? It's about time for him and Bob Arum to figure some things out. That's how I'm looking at this whole Terence Crawford situation right now. So Terence Crawford today on Speak Your Mind Sports Talk Live Daily has to go under fire. And I'm going to need some of you guys to come join the panel to talk about Terence Crawford today. I don't want to do this one solo. We got to give Terence Crawford, we got to dig into this Terence Crawford situation and decide whether he deserves to be burned or should we still cut him some slack. What are we going to do? Boxing Jedi in the building, he said, I know you don't believe it's Bud not wanting to fight. No. I don't think that. Not at all. Bud need to fight Thurman. Yep, I would say that. Bud came out on the video and said he didn't want to fight Russell. Yeah, well, I don't much blame him for that. It's a worthless fight. Bud will beat the shit out of Gary Russell. And it does nothing for him. So I don't have a problem with that. And then the whole nonsense about Al Haymon and Russell calling him out, we'll talk about that. But that being said, I'm not really interested in watching that. Yeah, me either. Why would Bud fight Russell? Dumbest fight ever. Yep. Bud should push Arum for the fight. Yeah, we're going to get into that. Jay Kyle, my man. Brooke or Thurman are almost yesterday's news at this point. Thurman for sure. Brooke for sure. Thurman, not too sure. He might still be a challenge and validity, I believe, for Terence Crawford. J. Kyle. Shiz Biz in the building was good. Big up, Shiz Biz. Bud team full of shit. Facts. Crawford needs big fight desperately. Yup. Indeed he does. Crawford. Let me see. Bo Mac says some crazy. Yeah, but Bo Mac, he does. He says some crazy stuff. He says some good stuff too, though. I like Bo Mac. Shit, I like Tyson Fury. You think I can say anything about the crazy shit Bo Mac say? I like Teofimo Lopez Sr. You think I can say anything about the crazy shit Bo Mac say? Those are two motherfuckers that I like and support. And both of them say the craziest shit you ever hear. That's why anyone who says Bud's still pound for pound are bugging. He's still pound for pound. Is he still number one? Nah, I can't have him at number one. But pound for pound, I won't take him out of there yet. Not yet, Jed. Bo Mac said no non-champions, but because they are out of options, though, unbiased. You know what I mean? I feel you, but they're kind of out of options. They all scared of Crawford and Thurman is digging, but he can't get it. But he should get it. Jedi. He might not be able to, but he really should. Because what other options do Bud got? He don't want to fight Porter. He don't want to fight Porter right now. Bud need to fight Thurman. This is a fight that will matter. Y'all get ready to open the chat up too. Open the panel up too. What up, AI's in the building? What's good? Thurman team legitimately called Bob to make the fight. Yeah, I see both sides. To be honest, yeah, I rock with Bud, but hell no. Yeah, Bud we gonna open it up, bro. I'm gonna open it up. I feel you. I feel you, unbiased. It's said, no, I meant number one pound for pound still. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you then. 100%, Jet Kyle. See, that's my point. They don't have the right at this moment not to even negotiate with Thurman. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. IBT in the building. IBT killing it. The prediction lead. Congratulations to you, my man. Crawford needs to call Thurman's bluff for sure, no doubt. I don't think it's a bluff. Um, all right, guys, real quick, because we looking pretty good today. Maybe you two like the title today. They actually got my notifications out, but I'm gonna still share this real quick. Y'all give me 1 second. Hit that like for me. If y'all don't mind. Let me see. Let me see. Let me tweet this right quick live now. YouTube is messing with the Speak Your Mind Sports Talk family. They don't want to put our notifications out, guys. But it's all good. We're gonna keep rolling. Tweet that. Put this in Discord real quick. Oh, but let me drop this link in the chat too. Link in the chat, guys. AA Boxing in the building. What's good? What's good with you, my man? All right, link in the chat, guys. Come on up. Unbiased Jedi, IBT. Y'all come on, click that link, bro. We got to talk about this Crawford situation. We got to talk about it today. Click the link. We just drop this in the fucking Discord right quick. It's a damn shame YouTube supposed to put out all y'all be hitting the likes. Y'all hit the likes all the time. YouTube's supposed to put out the notifications for us, but they're not putting out the notifications for us. So gotta manually put this shit all over Facebook and all of that jazz, man. Y'all know how it go. Well, that's all right. It's all good. Facebook feed. All right, guys. We in there. For glory in the building. I buy houses in the building. Let's get back to it. Terence Crawford and all of this foolery going on. Terence Crawford gets no more passes. Jedi's in the building. Hold on right quick, Jedi. I got you, dog. I got you. I just want to put this up real quick as a reminder what we are discussing here today. We are discussing this guy, Terence Bud Crawford. For glory, what's good with you? I buy houses. What's up with you? Yeah, he's got some options now, and it's about time for him to do something. Virgil Ortiz, to me, is not. Virgil Ortiz and Gary Russell amongst these guys are the options that I'm not really looking toward. You know, Gary Russell, that fight's fluff. Virgil Ortiz is coming up in the ranks, but still a prospect. He hasn't won anything yet. He's not a champion. But Kell Brook, Keith Thurman, and Sean Porter, which I'm still throwing in the mix. These are options. And it's the time is now. All of this, nobody wants to fight me and all of this crap. Now, Kell Brook, in my opinion, is at the bottom of the totem pole. As far as interest, you know, in fights that I would like to see Crawford in. I'm not really interested in Kell Brook, you know, out of these three guys. I would much rather see Sean Porter or Keith Thurman. But the time is now. It's no more fights. It's got to be one of these three guys. And I would much prefer my option. Number one option would be Sean Porter, but that's probably the least likely fight to happen. So we got to look at Keith Thurman and Kell Brook because forget about Virgil Ortiz and Gary Russell. I'm not interested in that. So, Keith Thurman and Kell Brook is what we're down to now. Jedi, you were saying some things about Crawford and everything else. What you think about the situation? Because Crawford's under fire today. What you think about it, Jedi?
I think y'all need to stop that under fire shit, really, because first of all, the call out is premature. It just happened yesterday, right? Second of all, we still have to give Crawford a chance to answer back. Third of all, what the fuck has Thurman done besides lose every fight since he's come back? And you guys are. And I'm excluding those that are level headed. Those that are fanatics now, all of a sudden there's a Thurman train again. Really? Okay. So now we're gonna say, and we're gonna try to put Thurman. Crawford as to he never wanted to fight anyone from that side. He never approached Sean Porter and asked him, but then Sean Porter decided to go with Spence Jr. I mean, we're all gonna make believe now. So now because hold on, and then what is this that everybody's saying that he's not fighting nobody? He's run out of passes. First of all, I didn't even know there were passes to be given here when everybody was before on the train where I understand that guys don't want to cross the street to fight Crawford. So now that Thurman has called Crawford out on nobody, we can put this now because my man has been defeated. It's just puzzling to me on how when there's nothing and no one's around and everybody has seen this, everybody bear testimony, yeah, no doubt. But now all of a sudden, Thurman, oh, one PBC dude, one PB. If anything, where was Thurman when Thurman had called? Well, Crawford had called Thurman out, and Thurman was like, "When you get a belt, then you could come see me." So he basically told him what he told Errol Spence Jr. Now all of a sudden, Thurman's this guy that's wearing an S now. That's just my point of view. You know what I'm saying? Because from what I seen it and everyone else that has been on my lives, your lives, and other lives, the same people here that are, yeah, oh my God, he better call his bluff, he better do it, are the same people that have said they understand exactly why Bud Crawford has been having a fucking messed up fight selection because the other guys don't want to cross the street. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, I would say this. You said one thing that was incorrect that I got to touch on because Crawford ain't never went over there and offered to fight with Porter, bro.
No, he never did. He never did.
Hold on for a second. Now okay. I was quiet while you was talking. My turn. As a matter of fact, he made it plain and simple that he wasn't interested and didn't want to fight Porter, and it was a mutual agreement between the both of them. It was not a Porter situation where he ran away from the fight. Kenny Porter, out of Porter, Crawford, and Sean Porter, was the only one that was talking about making that fight. It wasn't Bob Arum. Porter and Crawford agreed they didn't want to fight each other. And Kenny Porter said that was a fight that his son needed to make, but that's between him and Crawford. Kenny Porter said he would like that fight, but that's between him and Crawford. But Crawford never mentioned having a fight with Porter, never mentioned interest in having a fight with Porter, and damn sure never went and made any offer to fight Sean Porter, fam.
That's kind of funny because there's an interview out there with Terence Crawford saying, I offered him the fight, but he decided to go Errol Spence Jr.'s way. And then everybody, hold on. And then this is where everybody started saying, this is where this came from. So everybody started saying, oh, but how come Sean Porter went Errol Spence way? And then when he lost his title, now all of a sudden, oh, give me a shot, please. Please give me a shot. I mean, it's so evident on how that happened, bro. It's so evident. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not giving. Hold on, and I'm not giving Crawford no passes. But at the same time, punch truck. Where was Thurman? Where was Thurman when he had that title? When Crawford was calling him out to where was he? Where was he?
Fighting Manny Pacquiao.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, RBT and Unbiased. I'm gonna let y'all go. Hold on for a second, dog. Hold on. Deadeye. Only thing I'm saying about this whole Crawford, and let's make this about Crawford because this is Crawford under fire. So I want to clear two things up because I spoke on the whole Crawford offering Porter to fight. Still, that never happened. Second thing is this, Jedi. The title under fire doesn't mean they're guilty. Under fire is basically like they're coming into a court of law. And I've done this with Anthony Joshua, Canelo, Monster, Inouye, Tyson Fury. We're going to sit up here and decide whether they need to get heat or not. That's what under fire means. It's not us persecuting and convicting him already. This is what the discussion is about. So I think you kind of misunderstood what I meant by Crawford under fire. But this whole Crawford offering the Porter thing, we're still not in the same place here. And I need, like, Bias and I, Intangible, we offer what's called receipts, links. I'm sorry. In IBT, we offer what's called receipts.
Go to Fight Hype.
I'm gonna let y'all in. Let me finish. I'm gonna let y'all in.
Fight Hype.
We give links, bro. So I just want to see Crawford saying, "Oh, I tried to make the fight with him, and he decided to fight Spence," because I don't remember seeing that.
Here's your link. Here's your link. Go to Fight Hype. Go to Fight Hype 2 months ago.
All right, let Unbiased in IBT cook real quick. Go ahead, Unbiased.
Look, I don't really look. I'm at the point, and I'm a Crawford fan. Me and D, we debated hours, and I was pro Crawford and saying, look, these guys don't want to fight him, blah, blah, blah. That's all fine and dandy. We know that. That's the past, though. As of today, Thurman's team called Bob Arum trying to fight Bud. I don't care what any Bud fan tells me. That would be the best name on his fucking resume. I'm going to leave it as that. That's all I need to hear. It'll be a competitive fight. I don't care about opinions. If you think Crawford washes him, I don't give a fuck. I want to see the fight, and it's a career-building win on your resume. So at the end of the day, we don't even need to go back and forth about, oh, who ducked who. We're talking about today. Thurman wants to fight. Make the fight.
When was this call out? Yesterday. What's today? Today. 1 day. Relax, guys. This is where I'm getting at. This is my point right here. We're Bud fans. We understood then, just because Thurman made the call out now, we're all clinching, biting nails. Oh, hurry up, Bud. Answer. Give the man some time, bro. He will answer. And when he does, y'all need to give him the respect.
Bob already answered.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all
already answered.
No.
Already answered.
We're not talking about Bud. We're talking about Bud Crawford. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
One at a time. And all I'm gonna say is this: Bud Crawford. You can say that you're talking about Bud Crawford, Jedi, but the reality is, Bud Crawford don't make his fights. The dude that make his fights is Bob Arum. Bud Crawford's not his own boss. He's not an AJ or Mikey Garcia or Manny Pacquiao. He don't make his fucking decisions. So I really don't give two shits what Bud Crawford said. I give a fuck about what his team announces is going to happen, because that's what he's going to follow. It ain't about what Bud Crawford says. It ain't never been about what Bud Crawford says.
But But why are you telling me this and you didn't let the gentleman I was just having a discussion with tell me that?
So,
I mean, I'm in the discussion too.
I was going to respond to that Bomac on the Boxing Voice called in and said, we're only fighting champions. When they asked him about fighting Kell Brook and Keith Thurman, he said, Bud only wants champions. So we're not fighting Keith Thurman or Kell Brook. Right. So the only thing that's left for me is Testera. Now, Bob Arum came out and said they're in negotiations with Kell Brook. Right. That's what he said. He said Thurman contacted him for the fight, but he thinks that he doesn't have the money to make this fight. So they would rather make the fight potentially in 2021. That's what he said. My thing is this, bruh, Bud needs this fight. And let's be real. Is he going to fight Testera? Because that's the only out I can say, okay, well, that's a champion. But if you turn around and fight Kell Brook, then what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you actually doing? Because Keith Thurman is a better name at 147 than Kell Brook, especially now. Kell Brook has not fought there in I don't know how many years. All right. That's another asterisk next to a Bud Crawford win that I don't think Bud needs. You know what I'm saying? People will say, oh, he was drained. That wasn't the best. Kell Brook, he got stopped by Triple G. Then he got stopped by Kell Brook. He didn't look good versus Zephyr, whatever the fuck the guy's name is, the stripper at 154. Like, there's too many asterisks next to Kell Brook versus Thurman losing to an all-time great Manny Pacquiao.
And there's no disagreement on everything that you just said. I'm not disagreeing. Once again, my whole point here is give him time, bro. Trust me, he will answer. Hear it from the fighter's mouth. All right,
So yeah, I understand what you're saying with the let him answer. I'm not saying we rush to conclusions. However, I think the point of this live is kind of like, we're trying to see what happens if either he does or doesn't fight Thurman, right? And for me, what a lot of people have been saying is if he does not fight Thurman and instead he fights Kell Brook, then that would be pretty embarrassing and a really bad look on his side because, like you mentioned, I don't think this is saying like people are going to artificially create reasons why he shouldn't receive full credit for a Kell Brook win. I think he legitimately shouldn't. I mean, those are actual factors you have to, put into the equation. Last time he fought at 147, he was stopped. He had difficulty making weight 3 years ago. He's had injuries in his face, his facial bones, right? So to me, it would be a couple asterisk fighters in a row, excluding Mean Machine. And even Mean Machine, he was mandatory, and I thought he lost to Ray Robinson. So I just think that Keith Thurman would prove to be the most legitimate opponent at welterweight that he's had, regardless of him coming off of a loss, regardless of the result of the Pacquiao fight. We saw that Thurman can fight. He's saying he's going to be in better shape. He would have won the fight had he not gone down in the first round, but it would have, should have, could have, right? The point is that Thurman is a quality fighter, and I think that it would be a good fight for him to take. The fact that you already have Bob Arum and Bomac kind of dismissing him, to me, is very worrying because that would be his best fight. And saying that he's too expensive is also kind of worrying because then how do you expect him to make a Spence or Pacquiao fight? And the fact that Bomac is saying we need Thurman to send an offer, even though they're the champion, they should be the A side. It all seems like not so much that I'm taking away credit from Spence, but it just looks really bad. That's it.
Yeah. Mr. Two Hands, come back in, bro. I don't know what happened. I put you in. I think it was an echo. That's the only reason.
No, and my thing is like this fighting Keith Thurman could be a build up to a Earl Spence fight or a build up to a Manny Pacquiao fight because Keith Thurman is a good name, and I feel like Keith Thurman would do a lot of hype for that fight because he knows how to talk his shit to make you want to watch the fight. It's a win to me. It's a win for Bud if he does that. It's a solid name. It's a good name on your resume at 147. It's a win he needs. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it.
I agree.
And boxing, prime fighting champions, soccer training club, the Texan, get this smoke. What's up with y'all, fellas? Go ahead, Jedi.
No, I said I totally agree. I don't want him fighting Brook because to me, Brook is an injured fight. Anybody who fights Brook, I can't give him respect. And if Bud fights Brook, even though Brook was on the table first, I don't care. I couldn't respect that victory. I planted that a while back. I'm saying it now. I'd rather a Thurman. But my whole point, so everybody won't get it twisted, give him time to answer. Just give him some time because we don't know what's going on right now, bro. You know what I mean? I don't think Bud is going to say, oh, but Bo, how you can, I don't think no man is going to let no other man answer for him, especially for a caller like that. And he reached out to Bob. If it's going to make sense, because we're saying it right now, this will make more money than Texera. So this would make much more sense. Yes, I agree. But let's not say that, put it in terms like the way we're doing, like put the man on the fire just because Thurman called him out. Give him a chance, bro. Maybe if you don't answer by a week, then we can do this, bro. But
don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Bud is ducking in any way. I'm only saying this is why I think that he should definitely take the Thurman fight or negotiate it to, come to a common ground where they can make the fight because of the facts that I just said previously. I'm not calling him a duck yet, right? Because we got to give all negotiations or potential negotiations time. Like I did with Tio and Lomachenko. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm only giving why I think that Bud should take the fight.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now let me jump in
same
here.
here.
Let me jump in here. Yeah, because I was sitting up here. I agree with you on bias. I was sitting up here. That's what I was going in about Teofimo Lopez. People jumping the gun. I'm not really one to jump the gun either, Jedi. But here's my thing. When the guys that pretty much control what happens with him are coming out speaking against it, that don't make me think that he's looking to take that fight, fam. And that's what's going on right now. Bomac and Arum are showing no interest in that fight. So that's why I'm talking about it right now, because if they're showing no interest in that fight, and we're leaning toward a Kell Brook or a Texera, when you won't fight Porter, much more of a valid fight. When you sitting here and you're not interested in Thurman, in my opinion, much more of a valid fight. What the fuck is going on? So I have to talk about that. Like, I have to say something about that because Teofimo and his camp won't say nothing about, we're not interested in Lomachenko. Teofimo, the whole time people was talking about Teofimo a duck, this kid's stupid, all of this, D. Jefferson, you not keeping the same energy. The whole time that was going on, Teofimo was saying the fight happening. Teofimo was saying, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out. Teofimo never said he didn't want the fight. Teofimo's team never said they didn't want the fight. They weren't interested in the fight. Crawford's team has said this, fam. Crawford's team has said this. So this is what makes the whole scenario different to me, fam. And I'm not satisfied with them saying they're not interested in a Keith Thurman. They won't fight a Sean Porter. But here y'all go. Kell Brook. No, fuck that. Fuck that, bro. Fuck that.
Yeah. Hold up, D. I'm gonna leave. I'll go back to the chat, but I'll be back in a little bit. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, for sure. So that's where I'm coming from, Jedi. Because, like, okay, if Crawford's team is sitting there talking about that's a fight that we should entertain, or, that's a fight that we'll look into, maybe we'll negotiate that fight, or that's a good fight or something, or they gave us some type of positive outlook on this fight potentially taking place, then, yeah, nobody can say shit. But when it's his team, when it's Aram coming out speaking against the fight, when it's his coach Bomac coming out speaking against the fight, bro, that don't make me feel good. I said something long ago. Our IBFP in the building. What's good with you, Nuke? I said something long ago about Canelo Alvarez and Callum Smith. This was a while ago before Plant was involved, and Ryder and all of these other names start coming up. Joey and Reynoso. Joey, Smith's coach, and Reynoso, they had a conversation. And those two guys said that they wanted their fighters in that ring. Now, we've gone through this whole roller coaster of who's Canelo's fighting and who's not. But whose name has come back around and surfaced into this conversation once again? Callum Smith. And it's because his team, Canelo's team, Callum Smith's team desired this fight. Well, Crawford's team is showing no desire in this fight. So that don't give me the fucking indication that he is going to take this fight. That don't give me any promise. I know we're supposed to sit back and wait for negotiations, but they're talking as if negotiations will never fucking take place. So I think we need to start talking about it immediately. Not to mention, how long are we going to say these guys don't want to fight him? Because this is the whole fucking scenario surrounding Crawford. He had to fight. Well, Horn, I don't have any gripe about Horn because he moved up and he captured the belt. That was something he's supposed to do. So all of the idiots out there that said something about Jeff Horn, just leave that alone. He did that to get a belt. So that brought value. But when you talk about Khan, Benavidez, and Kavialaskis, when you talk about those three guys, it's time for you to fucking do something, fam. It's time for you to do something. All of this bullshit about nobody want to fight you, there are names now. Thurman, I don't care what Thurman did in the past. He wants to fight you now. Fight him. Make the fight. Talk to Sean Porter. Fight him. Okay, you don't want to fight Sean Porter, fine. But it's time for him to do something now. You can't keep turning down these names and then we say, oh, well, nobody wants to fight Crawford. No, the hell with that. We'll Stay Real TV in the building. What's good with you, fam?
Hey, man, look, man. Crawford got one of the worst teams in boxing. And I doubt that his fans even understand why when somebody say something like that, because like you said, he don't want to fight. He don't want to fight nobody with a big name. Crawford is trying to he just trying the only person he want to fight is Earl Spence and Pacquiao. And I know why he want to fight Earl Spence and Pacquiao. Those are crazy paydays, just like everybody wanted to fight Mayweather.
Right.
He
Exactly.
he want to protect his undefeated status by fighting Glass Jaw Joe and Left Hook Larry and all these no name motherfuckers until he get the big fights and keep his O. He don't want to risk his O. He want to fight Bigfoot John and all these motherfucking no name motherfuckers, all these fight night characters and shit. But as soon as somebody tell him to fight somebody with a real name, he got a excuse like a nigga going to jail. He got an excuse. He don't want to fight. They had three different excuses. They had three different excuses why they didn't want to fight. Why they didn't want to fight Porter. First, Porter. Bob Arum said Porter was a nobody. The other guy, the fat motherfucker said he don't have a belt. And Terence Crawford said he didn't want to fight him because they friends. They three different excuses why they didn't want to fight Sean Porter. Now they don't want to fight. Now they got an excuse why they don't want to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman reached out. Keith Thurman tried to get, Keith Thurman don't have a belt. Oh, we tried to fight him before and he didn't want to fight us. Why should we give him an opportunity? That's the dumbest, childish ass excuse. Nick neck, paddywhack shit, man. Come on, man. Fight. That'd be the biggest name on your motherfucking resume, and you gonna turn him down. Who else you gonna fight? Kell Brook don't have a motherfucking belt. What the fuck? Kell Brook face bashed then they go turn around and try to fight them. Man, they got the worst Lioness team in boxing, man.
Yeah, Bob Arum.
That's all I gotta say about the man.
Now,
he gonna fight Glass Jaw Joe some up.
I'm with you, but I'm with you on everything but Crawford himself not being willing to fight. I think Crawford will fight any of those motherfuckers. Now, again, like I gave. Hold on, Wood. Hear me out. Hold on, hear me out. Like I gave Bob Arum the heat when it came to my boy Teofimo Lopez. I'm going to give him some heat when it comes to Terence Crawford. It's the team's responsibility to promote this guy and put him in the right situations. And Arum, man, look, I've said it time and time again. Arum need to improve, bro. When it comes to these fighters, he needs to improve. If Keith Thurman and those guys reached out to Arum, he should be all over it. He should be all over it. Period. This is why I can't give no excuses. It shouldn't even be like, it shouldn't have been no interviews coming out with him and Bomac speaking against this fight at any level. And then we talking about a Kell Brook. How can you come out and say that you're in negotiations for Kell Brook and in the same breath talk about a fighter with no belt? This shit makes no sense, bro. Bob Arum, he has to be held accountable. It's the same shit I was crying to y'all about the Teofimo situation. Bob Arum has to be held accountable. If Terence Crawford's name was Vasil Lomachenko, we wouldn't be talking about this. The same shit that I said when I was talking about Teofimo. If his name was Vasil Lomachenko, we would not be having this conversation because he would get him in the best fight possible. And he would promote the hell out of it because that's what he does with Vasil Lomachenko. But he's not doing it with Terence Crawford, fam. Why are we not getting this? What the fuck do people don't get about Bob Arum? He is a problem.
I disagree. I disagree with you.
Tell me why you disagree.
I disagree with you 100%, man. 100% I disagree with you. I believe it's Terence Crawford decision who he fight. And Terence Crawford don't want to fight these people, and they go out and make the fights that Terence Crawford want. Terence Crawford, Terence Crawford is the boss. They work for Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford don't want to fight these people, man. It's his decision, man. I believe it's his decision. And they go out there and make the fights that he want. He don't wanna fight Keith Thurman. He don't want to fight these motherfuckers, man. It's Crawford's decision, man. I'm not letting that nigga off the hook, man.
Has anybody heard
I'm not letting
Crawford?
him off the hook.
Wood, have you heard Crawford make a statement about Keith Thurman? What statement have you heard Crawford make about Keith Thurman?
You
Terence
breaking up, yo.
Crawford, huh? What I say? What
Say that
statement?
again.
What statement have you heard Terence Crawford make about this Keith Thurman fight? Terence Crawford himself. What statement have you heard him make about this fight?
Oh, yo, you breaking up terrible, yo. You sound like you underwater.
Wood, it might be you, dog. I don't know. Might be Jedi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Wood, it might be you, bro. Well, see,
That might be me. Let me see something.
here's my thing. We've heard Bomac come out and make his statement. We've heard Bob Arum come out and make his statement. Now, we've heard Bomac come out and make his statement. We've heard Bob Arum come out and make his statement. Yeah, you echoing now. You echoing now, Wood. Anyway, if I hear Terence Crawford come out and make a statement saying, I don't want to fight Keith Thurman, then I would be on your side, Wood. But all I ever heard Terence Crawford come out and say, and again, this is not a bash Terence Crawford session. This is a Terence Crawford under fire. We need to determine whether this guy needs to get heat or whether we should just sit back for a second. So I've never heard Terence Crawford say, I don't want to fight Thurman. So I'm not going to bash Terence Crawford. I've heard Terence Crawford say, I will fight any of those motherfuckers. This is all I've ever heard Terence Crawford say. So I can't bash Crawford on this level. I still understand that politics and other things are involved in this. Well, at the same time, I'm not going to keep giving him a pass because politics is involved. Politics is involved with everybody. With everybody that's in boxing, and guys are still making fights. Politics was just involved with this Teofimo and Vasil Lomachenko situation. But that fight is on. No, that fight is happening. So I'm just sick and tired of hearing the Bob Arum foolishness, and that's who I keep going at, Bob Arum, and why these fights supposedly can't happen. To hell with this. Crawford needs to get in the ring with a viable opponent, period. And it cannot be no goddamn Kell Brook. That's not viable.
That's it.
When you have other options, it's not viable. Get this going. What's up?
Yeah, I agree. So the only thing I've seen, what's up to everybody? What's up, D? The only thing I've seen is Terence Crawford saying that if he sent a contract, Thurman wouldn't have signed it, so keep his name out his mouth, which seems like he's calling Thurman a clout chaser. But it would be more advantageous maybe to him and the fans. I think he'd get a lot less heat, and we wouldn't even been having this discussion if he would have just said, I'm going to tell my people to send a contract. Right? Yeah. If he just said something like that. The Gary Russell Jr. thing is just like absurd, right? It's like Twilight Zone material. And the fact that he went out and, broke the silence. Terence Crawford rarely speaks, right? And when he does speak, it's usually in front of like in a controlled environment amongst industry professionals, kind of thing. He doesn't do these off the cuff kind of him giving his stream of conscience to the fans. That's not really his thing. So when he did this for Gary Russell Jr., it set a different kind of standard and precedent. So if you're gonna put all this energy into Gary Russell Jr., granted, it's from an incident that happened to him when he was a kid, right? So maybe he can feel some kind of way about it. But still, he went sort of above and beyond his normal standard to address Gary Russell Jr. A much better fight. The best of what's left of the guys who aren't engaged is Keith Thurman, right? I would have preferred the Ugas. I mean, I would have liked it if he fought Ugas, but if I would have put Ugas versus Thurman, I'd still say Thurman is a more important fight, right? I still would rather see the Thurman fight. So to me, Thurman is a great fight. There's only a couple of guys above Thurman that I'd like to see Crawford in. I just wish he made more of an effort. I think that's really what it is. I wish his energy, just his intensity was different about making these fights that are not the level of guys we've seen him in with at 147.
Right.
I did a video breaking down why Terence Crawford don't want to fight Keith Thurman.
Well, see, the thing is, he came in the division talking about fighting Keith Thurman, so I don't think it's about him wanting to fight Keith Thurman. I just think that he doesn't have the same kind of hunger that the fans wish he had. I think he's fine with making the fight. I think he thinks he's in the Hall of Fame. He makes enough money, and he will knock out anyone who they put in front of him. So if it's not the undisputed fight, then he's not really getting up for it. I don't think that that's good enough for the fans, and I don't think the fans expect him to rest on his laurels the way that he is.
Right. I agree with that, Smoke. But look, Luke says, I don't want to see Crawford spend the rest of his prime on guys like Brook instead of Thurman. Facts, bro. Again, like, this ain't no Crawford bashing session. I don't want to see that either. Crawford is a beast, right? And he at this point, after the things that he's accomplished, he has the opportunity to build onto that. I don't want to see him waste his time, the rest of his time, on nonsense like this either. Bro, your last fight was against Calvi Velasquez, and it was a while ago. So we don't need to talk about your next opponent needs to be tough. It does. Crawford needs to prove. At 147, Crawford cleaned out 140. Fine. What has he done? At 147, he collected that belt from Horn, but you have to do something to establish yourself, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, at 147. You need to, at least unify that belt. Forget about 4-belt undisputed. That's just too difficult to happen. But you need to at least unify that belt. You need to do something. You need to fight somebody that is considered a top 5 opponent at 147. That's what he needs to do, because I don't give a fuck that Horn had that belt. Nobody considered him top 5. I don't even think while he was champion, he was considered top 5.
Yeah, at this point, it seems like his attitude seems like he's perfectly willing to babysit a belt.
Look, man, again, it's hard for me to say some of those things because of the circumstances. But yeah, it gives that appearance. I can't deny that. Do I believe that? Or do you believe that, Smoke? I don't believe it. I don't believe that's what Crawford is doing, right? Because of the circumstances surrounding everything. But I don't give a shit at this point. That's what I'm saying. I don't care at this point. We cannot keep holding all of these other fighters accountable for certain things. And forget about the fighters I like. Forget about Fury and Fimo and Spence. Look at all of this shit that Canelo's being held accountable for. Look at all of this shit that Lomachenko's being held accountable. Anthony Joshua is being held accountable for. Musla Nui, and he's just getting started being held accountable for. Forget about the guys I like. We're holding a lot of these other fighters accountable. Where's the Crawford accountability? This shit cannot go on. We have to. Thank you, Newt. We have to. And I practice very hard of keeping the same damn energy. We have to. I'm the type of guy who went from giving Crawford heat long ago on some of this situation, but then I became reasonable about it because I got to keep the same energy. So I say, you know what? We got to stop ragging Crawford so much because A, B, and C is happening. Well, A, B, and C happened, and that shit is over with. It's time for you to fucking do something now. And I got to keep the same energy. So now I feel like I have to give Crawford heat. That's what this discussion is about today. And I feel like if he's under fire, turn up the goddamn flames. Right now, I'm feeling like Crawford needs heat. If somebody disagrees with that, which I don't think Jedi is really online with that right now, we need to give him some time. And I can agree with that sentiment. I just want to give him a little heat now because his situation to me is not the same as other fighters' situation that I decided not to give heat. I'm giving Crawford heat right the fuck now, fam. Something's got to give.
So Crawford, to me, like he's, from his statements, right? He's like, I'm already in the Hall of Fame. I'm not taking pay cuts for COVID, right? His
That's another
team
thing.
saying I'm not going is, there's it to me. He's setting himself up. He's telling me that he's setting himself up for 2021, and he's not about like fighting these guys to stay busy or to firm up his resume at 47 or whatever. He's like, my legacy is already set. I'm in the Hall of Fame. This whole thing about 147 is just what fans want right now in the moment. But his eye is on being undisputed champ at 147, I think, and having a few more fights and going away, right? And that's it. And I think making the most money while he's here, while he can. Getting dropped by Green Machine may, I think solidifies in maybe his and other people's minds that it's time to get the most money every time he goes out, and not,
No,
and not
See,
and do a different sort of legacy play. Do
yeah,
the
yeah.
legacy play for being undisputed at
Smoke,
47
smoke. I get that
versus.
shit, bro. I get that shit you saying, but fuck all that. Fuck all of that shit with this money shit. Because first off, let me say, Nuke says Spence bragging on Porter and Garcia. Bud beats that with one name, Thurman. Yep. Yeah, he gets right there. But fuck all of that shit about this money trail and this money chase and anything that's concerning it. Because, guys, we have to think about this. I ain't listening to none of that concerning Bud Crawford. That was the main heat they was giving all of these PBC motherfuckers when they wouldn't get in the ring with them. When they wouldn't climb over there and get in the ring with them, it was about a paper chase, fam. So we're gonna turn and talk about Crawford and justify it on the paper. Fuck the paper chase. I don't even want to hear that. Fuck the paper chase, Smoke.
For me, it's not
No,
just the paper.
Hold on, Smoke. Let me finish. I hear the logic in it. I ain't accepting it, is what I'm telling you. Fuck the money situation, right? Fuck that. I hear the logic. I'm not saying what you're saying is illogical at any level. That's not something I'm willing to listen to. Because when we rewind before the Porter fight, before the Ocampo fight, dude, this whole money, this whole PBC scenario money, we can't turn and accept that with Crawford, because that's exactly what it would be doing, in my opinion. We would be turning and accepting the same ideology now concerning Crawford. Fuck that, because when it was the same way in reverse, the fans were saying, fuck that, get in the ring. Fuck that money situation, get in the ring. So now we're telling Crawford, get in the goddamn ring, son. And if you have this idea that you've already made it, and you're this Hall of Famer, then you have the money. So go after the glory.
Right. So it's not an either or in this situation, right? So Terence Crawford may be a somewhat of glory and money, right? But Pacquiao and Spence are still all the glory and all the money, right? And that's what I'm saying. I think that they're waiting to put all of their eggs and cash out and leverage the moment as much as they can, not just a tough fight for maybe some money and some glory. They want to leverage all of the money and all of the glory. They want to maximize that, I think, in every outing. And I don't expect to see Bud in 2020 as a result. If I see Bud in some absurd circus fight, like with Gary Russell Jr., where if he hit him on top of the head, he'd break both his legs. Like I'm not trying to, I'm not interested in something like that. And listen, I got Bud as my number one pound for pound fighter. I had, but in 2017, I had Bud beating Spence, right? I came around after 2017. This idea that other guys can do stuff, but he can't, and he's just because he's a complete fighter. There's a statute of limitations on that. Guys can also show that they've surpassed him, or caught up to him at least, right? He's got it. He's definitely got to do something. But I'm just saying, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of urgency outside of a couple of guys, right? And I don't know that fan sentiment is going to light an urgency or motivate him to really, get off his ass. I think he's resting on his laurels, and he just wants to fight those two guys and be done.
Yeah, Johnny Boy got the clean cut. He look like a new man. Johnny that came out of the jungle. What's up, Johnny boy?
Nothing. What we talking about? Crawford and Thurman and shit?
No, we talking about Crawford need to do something with his fucking self.
Oh.
I don't give a fuck. Thurman, Pacquiao, something. No more bullshit fights. Crawford.
I check this. Outside of maybe D, I'm probably the biggest Crawford fan on this panel, dog. Straight up, bro. I love that fucking kid, dog. Straight up. No homo. But that's my boy right there. But yeah, dog, I mean, I'm a much, much bigger fan of Crawford than I am of Spence. I like both of them, but I'm a much bigger fan of Crawford than I am of Spence. But the fact of the matter is, dog, regardless of what he did at 135 and 140, he ain't done shit at 147, dog. Let's face the facts, dog. Pull the dick out of your booty, bro. Straight, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, bro. Pull the dick out your booty. Pull the dick out your
booty. Yeah, bro. You got to get it done. Brian Harkin, what's up, Brian?
Yeah, what's up, D? What's up, Johnny Boy? What's up, Jedi? And what's up, Smoke? All I got to say is this guy's got to fight, right? Take a 70-30. Take a 70-30 call. Go fight Manny Pacquiao. Give Manny Pacquiao 70% and go take his belt, right? If he believes he's the best, do that, right? If he wants a legacy fight, he may have to take less money. That's where I am with that. If he wants the legacy fights, he'll have to give up something. If it's money to get the belt, do that.
Brian, the thing is this is why I was a big fan of that fight, the idea of that fight to begin with, Crawford and Pacquiao. Because A, Pacquiao gets to go out on a high note, and B, Crawford gets the mega fight he's been looking for. So I'm
Absolutely.
all for so I'm all for that shit, dog. I mean, like, I'll take Brook or Thurman or whatever, but my first preference is him and Pacquiao because and again, I think it would be a hell of a fight even now. I don't think nobody gets washed in that fight.
Yeah, because Spence and Crawford ain't happening for a long time if it ever does happen. You know, we've been talking about Spence Crawford for how many years now? 3 years?
That bitch ain't never gonna happen, dog. That bitch ain't never.
You know,
we've been talking about Pacquiao. We've been talking about Pacquiao Crawford for longer than 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But the point is, Smokey's got to get in there with somebody, regardless if it's Pacquiao, Spence, Thurman, whoever, bro. He's still got to get in there with somebody.
And if it's Pacquiao's last fight, who's a better opponent to go out on your freaking shield than Terence Crawford? Win or lose?
No, man. I've been lobbying for that fight forever. Those boys both came up from lower weight classes, although Manny came from much lower, but still, we expect that Spence is in his lowest weight class that he's going to compete in. Those guys already competed in lower weight classes. They've been, like I said, they've been talking about this fight for longer than 3 years. I've been waiting on this mug, and I love it. Yeah, I really like Terence Crawford, and I think that both of these dudes they need to collide, right? I think that I would rather see Terence Crawford fight Manny Pacquiao than see Manny Pacquiao fight Spence. I will.
Hey D,
I agree with you. For once, I agree with you.
Hey D, I got some breaking news from Eddie Hearn.
Go ahead.
Breaking news here: the WBC board has voted 36-1 to order Canelo versus the Yildirim for the vacant title at 168.
Are we all surprised about that?
Is Yuduro?
36.
Wait a minute, Yuduro and Eddie Hearn fighter?
Bum fight and a cherry pick. Fuck Canelo.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is Yuduro a matchroom fighter?
Yeah, but look, I ain't even gonna put too much into that because that's a WBC order. That's just something. Look, these kind of reports like this, and thanks, Jedi, for bringing that up. These kind of reports like this, they don't do anything but keep the boxing fans at bay. That's it, bro. It's just something else to announce right now. It's just something else to announce. Who the fuck cares, bro? Who cares about this fight?
Not me.
This fight is nothing, and it's and once again, it's another Fugazi fucking belt situation, right? Yeah. One of these belt situations, like, okay, and Canelo's getting ready to get some heat. Because how many times are we gonna sit back? I'm a Canelo fan, and I'll be the first to pull the damn trigger. How many times are we gonna sit back and listen to Canelo chasing another fucking belt? Who the fuck cares at this point? This is the kind of shit that goes on in boxing that I'm telling you guys. This is the kind of shit that I attack. I don't care if it's Canelo. I'm a huge Canelo fan. I don't care if it's Canelo. When they announce shit like this is nothing more than to keep the fans at bay. One thing we know about Canelo right now, the motherfucker's having a huge problem finding a fight. And everybody wants to know, who's Canelo fighting next? Well, let's throw this bone to him so they can talk about this. I'm not even talking about this fucking WBC situation. Fuck Suleiman. Who cares what he orders? He doesn't enforce a goddamn thing anyway. So the hell with that order, the hell with Suleiman, and goddamn give me a name and an announcement of who Canelo is fighting next. But I don't want to hear no more stories about Canelo. Because the facts are, they don't have a fucking clue who he's fighting next. Not him or his team. That's how I see this shit.
Yeah, it is a I take Eddie Hearn's announcements with a grain of salt. I always got to verify and re-verify. Like, I need to go through a reliable source. He's not one, right? But let's just take it on its face. It's not the.
I like how you just threw that quick shot at Eddie Hearn right there. Don't even do that, man. Cut it out. Man.
No, listen.
I'll take Eddie Hearn's words more than I'll take anything I heard that came from fucking Al Haymon, Floyd Mayweather, or Bob
That's
Arum,
cool.
or Oscar De La Hoya.
Now that's where you got it. So that's where you got it mixed up. If Oscar De La Hoya came out and said WBC did it, then I'd be like, okay, now you have something against it, because Canelo is his fighter, and Oscar has a long relationship with the WBC. So I would be like, yeah, I can take that. I can take that. I'm not sure. I have an issue with
incident about this particular fighter, yes, but to obliquely say that Eddie Hearn, this, that, and the third, no. I'll take Eddie Hearn's word. Hold on, I will take Eddie Hearn's word over Oscar's any day. In this particular situation with Canelo, of course, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you would have said if it would have been like Eddie Hearn says the WBC said something about Dillian White, then I'd be like, okay, maybe I can take this whole thing. But if Oscar De La Hoya is saying something about what the WBC said about Dillian White, I'd be like, nah, I need to hear that from somebody who's actually. Okay, that's why my question was. That's why my question was: is the guy he's fighting?
Hold on, before you ask your question, hold the fuck up for a second, Smoke. Before we go around this fucking circle, because I want to end this shit right here, right now, real quick. I only spoke on your statement about Eddie Hearn. That was open, okay? Now, if we specify it to Canelo, yes. But if you openly say what you said about Eddie Hearn, I'm going to speak on it. I don't want to hear no shit about, no, I don't give a damn what Eddie Hearn said, because you didn't make it specific to this situation. I'm not arguing with you if it was Oscar De La Hoya talking about Canelo, just openly. In the media, Oscar saying something, Eddie saying something. That statement you said about Eddie, you don't like Eddie Hearn, fam. And that's clear.
Bro, I got it. I got it. Can I go on? You're off on a tangent. Like, you're off on another tangent. Like I was saying, my initial question was, is the guy that Canelo fighting a Eddie Hearn fighter? If that guy he's fighting isn't Eddie Hearn fighter, then I'm like, okay, Eddie has a horse in this race, and I can take what he's saying a little bit more seriously. Regardless of who you find more credible, Eddie Hearn or Oscar De La Hoya, I don't find either one of them to be very credible. And so if it's not situational, I need to verify what both of these dudes say. I don't like, I don't. Oscar, I don't feel like has blatantly said some stuff. Well, yeah, actually, I do. Like, yeah, I need to check what both of these dudes say. That's just it.
Whatever. I'm telling you just like this. And I've consistently said this. Fucking deception and lying is in a promoter's job description, just like a defense attorney. So I get that sentiment. But choosing the lesser of two evils, who would I believe more? Who would I be willing to believe more? Eddie Hearn more than all of them. Period.
Well, I mean, that's on you. That's on you.
I'm not finished. You, in a sense, I think you would either say fuck them all, or Eddie Hearn would be at the bottom of your list because you always speak against Eddie Hearn, fam. Look, this is the thing. Just because I say something like that, Smoke, don't get defensive and act like, oh, you trying to make it like I'm an Eddie Hearn hater. No, what I'm saying is you always speak against Eddie Hearn, at least in my experience. I never heard you big up Eddie Hearn, not once. And when people pick up Eddie Hearn, what I've been experienced is that you say, yeah, but you didn't say that in this situation when he did that. You start attacking him when I hear Eddie Hearn bigged up. I never hear you like say, oh yeah, well, Eddie Hearn is this, Eddie Hearn. It's always the opposite. So this is just my experience with you and Eddie Hearn. So I personally don't think you like that man at all.
Yo, hold
I
up.
don't
I
know
actually
the man
wanted
enough to like him or not like him. That's not even the point. The point that really the point is Eddie Hearn speaks about fights that he has no business, that he's not involved in, and negotiations that he's not involved in all the time. So him saying something about a negotiation that he's not involved in, I'm not taking that to heart. That's why I was asking if the other fighter was an Eddie Hearn fighter.
Let me actually clarify something really quick about because this kind of started with the WBC thing. This isn't actually from Eddie Hearn, from the WBC themselves, from the convention. They also tweeted it out. I shared 2 articles, one from Sky Sports, one from Boxing Junkie, and both have a source of a tweet from the WBC. Or not from it's not just that, but there is also the WBC official boxing account which tweeted out breaking Canelo Alvarez versus Yildirim for the vacant WBC Super Middleweight Championship. We all know it's vacant because of Benavidez. I shared it if you want to put it on screen, but basically this isn't from Eddie Hearn. This is actually from the WBC. But
hold on. I got the tweet right here. If you need proof, I will show it to you. I got it from his tweet on Twitter. So I'm just saying I got it from Eddie Hearn. And now that you got your proof, the whole thing is we're both right. Bottom line.
Yeah. I'm just saying if Smoke doesn't believe Eddie Hearn, that's fine. We have the WBC account. Now, if you don't believe the WBC account, that's a different thing, right? You can do that if you want. I'm just saying.
Relevant people. It's all relevant people. Like I said, if Oscar De La Hoya said it, it's an Oscar De La Hoya fight. Like I said, I don't know who the other guy is represented by. If the other guy is represented by Eddie Hearn, then I'd be like, okay, fine. I'd have no problem with it. Like you guys are twisting it up. Eddie Hearn has a tendency to comment on fights that he's not involved in.
Oh, he is a big mouth. I'll give Eddie Hearn that. He is a big mouth. So I do get your point in that. But Smoke, we talk about fights we're not involved in.
So let me. I'm looking for the tweet right now, and Smoke, hold up. I'm looking for the tweet right now, and all I see is Eddie Hearn replying to the WBC tweet, and he says, "So the WBC board has voted at 36-1 to order Canelo versus Yildirim for the vacant title at 168, right?" So one guy said that, hey, let's not do this. And then Eddie Hearn just said 1 out of 36. So you're telling me there's a chance. It was a joke tweet, basically.
Check this out real quick. Is everything the WBC mandates followed? No, it is not. No, it's not.
That's true.
What happened? Did the WBC just ordered Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell? What happened with that?
It's still happening.
So you guys are going off the word of the most crooked organization in boxing. They don't mean shit. And if Canelo is fighting that bum, then fuck him and the WBC. Real talk.
That's what I just said about Suleiman. That's what I just said. Like, we sitting here talking about what Suleiman ordered. Who the fuck gives a shit what Suleiman orders, bro? Exactly. Who cares what this motherfucker orders?
D, I got a nice slab for you today, dog. I got a nice
slab.
Oh,
my God. Johnny boy, this is what I got. You see this? This is strawberries, peaches. This is fresh greens. This is what I need. I don't need that stuff.
I'll just fuck with you.
But
yeah, that actually looks delicious.
Oh, that's gonna be great. I ain't blended it yet, but it's all fresh fruits and vegetables and a mix. That's what it is. But look, I'll tell you guys this, man. Terence Crawford, getting back to Terence Crawford, because we went on to a lot of other stuff. Terence Crawford needs to fight who next the most? in my opinion, you're not going to fight Sean Porter. Let's take that off the table. Well, I don't want to hear anything about Kell Brook. I think this fight with Keith Thurman has to happen. This has to be the next fight. Now, I will give this to Jedi. We need to take some time and, kind of see what's going to happen. But with the way Bob Arum and Bomac is talking, I don't think that we're going to get any kind of announcement of negotiations or anything. And that's where my heat is with Crawford. At this point, I think Crawford deserves heat. I'll go around the panel, with that. What do you think, Brian? Go ahead.
Okay, can I put something? The reason why Kell Brook is an idea, well, he is a pay-per-view in the UK, but also crowds will be allowed back in the UK in some venues in the UK in October. So they could potentially get a get from that. So I can see why they would have it in the UK. If it's as a fact that he is fighting another fighter, maybe they could fight in the UK and still have a crowd. But personally, I would like to see Pacquiao. Crawford Pacquiao next. That's what I want to see. I don't think it will happen, but that's what I want to see.
So if he fights anybody in 2020, I would rather it be Thurman. And if he fights anybody in 2021, it'd be like if he's going to sit out to 2021 and fight Pacquiao, I'm not mad that he's not fighting Thurman now or Brook. But if I see him, stay busy, stay ready, pad the resume, whatever the hell kind of fight, and it's not Thurman, that's going to be. I'm going to have some issues. I'm going to have an issue.
I have one problem with that.
Hold on, real quick, Brian. Hey, Johnny Boy. Hold on, real quick, Brian. Johnny Boy. Fred said Johnny Boy looking like a Mexican West Coast cholo. Go ahead, Brian.
I have one problem with that, Smoke. Right? It looks like Pacquiao's fighting. They say his next fight will be his last fight, and that's up against Marky Garcia. So if Crawford doesn't take this fight now, he'll never get the fight. So that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see both fighters. I want to see Pacquiao go out in the shield against Crawford. And I want to see Crawford up against Pacquiao. That's what I want to see next.
Yeah, I haven't heard either one of those two things, that Mikey is the next fight or that Pacquiao is his last fight. Pacquiao's on his last fight.
Pacquiao said for the Furman's fight, he wanted 2 fights left before the Furman fight. He had 2 fights left on him.
That's just talk. That's just talk. For all we know, he could retire tomorrow.
I know.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. Like I said, man, it doesn't matter who Crawford fights, dog. But he has to fight somebody, dog. He has to fight somebody. My preference would be Pacquiao as well. But if it's not Pacquiao, it better be Brook or Thurman or some goddamn buddy. And if it's not, that's when you're gonna see me do the fucking okey doke on Crawford real quick.
Yeah, but I'll say this. Brook. Okay. Here's the thing with Kell Brook. I get what you're saying, Brian, about the Kell Brook situation and the fans and all this. But why I don't want to accept Kell Brook concerning Crawford is because whether you and Porter want to not fight because y'all friends or not, that's your decision. But that is a very valid fight for you to make, Sean Porter. But you're deciding not to do that. That's your decision, Terence Crawford. Okay? Now we have Kell Brook over here. Then you have Keith Thurman calling you out, which is even a more valuable fight than Kell Brook. And you won't go that direction. So I don't want to hear shit about no Kell Brook when those 2 options are here and you haven't done the shit you need to do at 147. My thing is this. He should be taking this Thurman fight. If it's not Thurman, I don't want to hear Brook. I want to hear Pacquiao. So if you're saying you're not taking the Thurman fight because the Pacquiao fight is available, that I'm accepting 100%. No questions, no arguments. But we know Pacquiao is probably slim to none chance of happening. So you gotta take Thurman. If Thurman is running his mouth, I don't give a fuck about people saying Thurman don't deserve it. All of this. It's not about Thurman. It's about Terence Crawford. He has to make this Thurman fight. I don't want to hear shit about Kell Brook. Fuck Kell Brook. Keith Thurman will beat Kell Brook right now. Y'all don't think so? He will.
I think
the scale, as far as everybody's concerned, the scale beats Kell Brook.
Well, whatever. Kell Brook is not a competitive fight for Crawford. Pacquiao and Thurman is.
What?
He's not. Apparently, he's not even supposed to be. He's not competitive at 147. He can't go 12. The weight cut drains him.
Whether he makes weight or not, he gets the shit beaten out of him by either one of them boys, dog. Real talk.
Yeah, he hasn't been at the weight in long enough. He hasn't looked good in long enough. It just, Kell Brook, and I get it. Like the UK, you can go back to the UK and whip up those fans and all that, and that's cool. But that's just not good enough. The dude has been touted over Lomachenko and Canelo Alvarez, right? Yes, you got to do something.
Mar the Machine said that wasn't Crawford's decision, D. That was Porter and Crawford. I understand. That's why I said that fight's off the table, Mar. So since you don't want to fight your buddy in a fucking sport that's combat sports, okay, fine. Since you don't want to fight your buddy, you gotta fight Keith Thurman. That's what I'm saying, Mar.
To be honest,
Porter already has been. Plus, Porter already has a fight.
Oh, God damn it, man! Hold on, bro. I was just gonna say.
I was done. I was saying.
I was just gonna say. First of all, I don't even know how you could have Crawford ranked above Loma and Canelo and Usyk with that fucking resume. I don't even know how that's possible. But that's neither here nor there. Just saying.
Oh, well, everyone's list is different. There's no counting for taste. Usyk moving up, and also I wasn't a big fan of his run at cruiserweight, but I'm not a big fan of his run at Crawford's run at 140. But he also did capture titles in 2 other divisions, not just the 140.
The competition Usyk fought at cruiserweight was a lot better than the competition Crawford fought at 140.
I mean that's debatable. I don't.
No, it's not debatable.
I don't rate the likes of Gassiev and Huff and Bradis and all those guys like that. Other people do. I don't. I personally don't. I think those guys are all right. Right?
Well,
I don't think they're
let me ask you this, bro. Let me ask you this. What the fuck does Usyk got to do with it anyway?
Johnny Boy just brought him up. That's all.
No, I was just saying. I don't know how you could have him ranked above him. That's all.
Above Usyk?
Yeah. How?
Because he's done more than Usyk.
Because he was?
Yeah, listen. Yeah, they both went undisputed, right? But didn't Crawford win at another weight class as well?
Yeah, two other weight classes.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, Johnny. But he's done that. He's done. Okay, go ahead.
But I'm talking about their resume, though, bro. I'm not talking about how many weight classes they travel.
Okay.
Resume smokes Crawford's.
Okay, his resume don't smoke Crawford's. Okay, there's an argument that is better, but here's the thing, Donnie Boy. When you're talking about pound for pound, if you go to one weight class, win a championship at that pound, go to another weight class, clear the goddamn division out at that pound, and then go to a higher weight class and win another championship, that's another pound for pound. Usyk has only went undisputed in one. You can't do that. Like, Crawford should be ahead of Usyk. I can't agree with that Usyk situation.
Yeah, and but Usyk can only move up one.
Yeah, and Usyk may have, 1 or 2 fighters jump on Crawford. Usyk don't have this super spectacular resume either.
Yeah, well, if he goes and dominates the heavyweight division, then,
Well, he ain't did it yet, which is the same thing Crawford ain't did at 147. So we got to see both of them motherfuckers still do more. That's the whole point. Like, we got to see Usyk, see what he can do at heavyweight, and we got to see what Crawford can do at 147, because beating fighters that's ranked 10 or less is not enough for me. I need you to beat one of these top 5 guys, Terence Crawford. And Keith Thurman is that. Because you can say what you want. I call him Keith Once Upon a Time Thurman. But who you put in front of him? Let's be honest. Who do you put in front of him?
So if it is Keith Thurman, but it's 2021 because Bob is saying he wants to, you know, because Terence is saying he's not taking a pay cut, and Bob is saying a Thurman fight needs a crowd. We're fine with him sitting out. It's just who he fights next. It's not about when he fights; it's who he fights next, right?
Yeah, it's about who he fights next. And if Bob is talking some 2020 foolery, then this Crawford is under fire for a reason. If Bob is talking some 2021 foolishness, Smoke, and Thurman or Pacquiao is not going to be next, then we need to turn the flames up. This motherfucker needs to be burned. Crawford needs to be burned.
Bud needs the fight. Bud needs the fight in 2020, right? And I do have two opponents, Furman or Pacquiao, because the Spence fight ain't happening, right? What about this here, right? Manny Pacquiao versus Bud Crawford. Errol Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia. The two winners fight each other for all the belts at welterweight, or 4 belts at welterweight. That's the way I would do it. That's the way I would do it, right?
That's the way we all want it.
That's the way we all want it. That would just clear out the division. That would tell us who is the best in the division.
Yeah, but that's too easy. That's too easy. That means.
Hey, well, that's the ideal situation. That's, you know.
Yeah, that for sure. I agree with that. But that's the same thing like with Josh Taylor and Ramirez, with fucking Tyson Fury and fucking Deontay Wilder. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just fight that fight and then go undisputed. Like, we have a chance for all of these guys to do it. And now the Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor fight is looking funny. Yeah. So it's so hard to get 4 belt undisputed. It's like tough.
I know. Well, you know, that's just the ideal situation. That's what I would like to see. That's all I'm saying on that. But I have to go one away. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on that.
I'm one of the last guys.
Well,
I had to go anyway, D. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on that. So I'd be somewhere in half an hour to get ready.
I appreciate you coming on, Brian. You know you're always welcome.
Yeah, no worries. And sub and subscribe, everyone.
Appreciate you. Intangibles said, I mean, the WBO laid out like 100 times, 100-day timeable for AJ to fight Usyk, which ended before COVID-19. It was swept under the rug. Yeah. Chopstick Johnny Boy, O'Reilly Holmes. You got some fucking Crown Fight Champion. So I didn't know that. That's bullshit. I didn't know that bullshit. Mars said that wasn't Crawford. Yeah, I read that one. Joshua Lil John, what's up with your fam? He said Brooke has a few good fights left in him. I don't think his shot. Yeah, bro. Yeah, a few good fights. I agree with that, Lil John. And the down showing Terence Crawford, that's an ass whooping ahead of him. That's what that is. Don't think Brooke can fight it. Nah, bro, he's gonna drain the fuck down if he does. He's gonna drain and get beat up, man. And then that's another thing. When Kell Brook went to fight Errol Spence, that's all they talked about. That's all they talked about. Well, he just came by, he drained himself because he just went up to fight DGG. Well, what is the situation going to be with Crawford? And he's older. He's much older. It's really the same situation. He's draining back down to fight. If he had to drain down, because that's the excuse y'all give, Errol Spence, it wasn't all that. Brooke drained down. So if he had to drain down way back then, when he was having troubles making weight, when he had to drain down, what the hell are y'all thinking years later? Hey, Brooke's no spring chicken. This dude's not young. Eric, what's good with you, Eric? Smoke at it again. No. Smoke ain't on no hit today.
Yeah, you know, I guess if you don't like Brooke for Crawford right now, listen, Brooke just needs a fight. If Brooke had a win at 147, I wouldn't be that mad.
Yeah, Brooke. Look, man, the Brooke Crawford fight. I don't think it's any argument that this fight is absolutely worthless. I don't think like
Look, it's only worthless in comparison. It has worth if you put it in comparison to the Gary Russell Jr. fight. I would definitely rather see Kell Brook than Gary Russell Jr. I just like, I think it's
yeah.
an
No,
absurd
I'm
fight,
with you
right?
there. I'm with you there. If it comes down to Gary Russell or Kell Brook, fucking right, bro. Kell Brook, Gary Russell. That's a stupid fight. That fight's worse than. Listen, Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz is bad enough, guys.
Yeah.
That's bad enough.
Yeah.
That's from 135 and Leo Santa Cruz coming. Gary Russell and Crawford, that's stupid. Why are we even talking? Fuck Al Hammond and Gary Russell for even mentioning that.
Yeah.
If it's even true that Al Hammond, I can't even imagine Al Hammond doing anything stupid enough like calling out. So for real, bro, because that's what's in the reports right now. I seen a color video, Al Hammond and Gary Russell calls out. I don't believe that bullshit. I don't even think Al Hammond would waste his time. Like, get the fuck out of here, dog.
Check this out, bro. It's the same people talking about Crawford and Gary Russell is the same people that talk about Pacquiao and Triple G, bro. There's weight classes for a fucking weight classes for a fucking reason over here, dog. It's like you do. It's like you dudes wanting Lomachenko to go up and fight fucking Regis Prograis, bro. Like, get out of here, dog. Obviously, he's too small for that shit. Get out of here. Get out of here.
I actually think Pacquiao versus Triple G is a more viable fight, as Pacquiao at least knocks people out and has fought at 154, right? Like, at least you can say that like that. Like, Gary Russell Jr. couldn't knock people out at 122. He couldn't knock people out.
I'm with you 120% on that. Pacquiao versus Triple G is much more viable. Listen. Pacquiao actually has a slim chance against Triple G. Bouncing around on him, staying away from just not getting knocked out, and actually winning on points. Gary Russell Jr. has not a slim chance in hell, fam. No chance. Like, bro, what the fuck?
But Smoke.
Not even remember Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah,
so
of course.
1 in a million. So you're saying I have a chance.
So you're saying I got a chance.
Million, bro. That motherfucker don't have no chance.
He said, hey, baby, you say I got 1 in a 10 chance. No, like more 1 in a million. Yeah, you got to be. Smoke. You just want to see him go up in there so you can see him get him knocked the fuck out because you're a Floyd guy.
No,
come on, Smoke. You can't fool me.
I don't want to see either fight. I don't want to see Pat. Listen, if Pacquiao gets in there and beats Crawford, I'm gonna be like, God, like, listen, I am going to be super impressed. I don't even care if it's a split decision, knocked down, like the same way he went through Thurman. If he can find a way to plausibly get the result, right? I'm all on Team Pacquiao. The dude made a fan out of me out of his last performance. However, I don't think he should fight Triple G. Just like I didn't think Mayweather should fight Triple G. I thought Mayweather would actually had more of a shot to beat Triple G than I think Pacquiao has, but I don't want to see either one of those guys fight Triple G. Yeah. Nah, I'm not. That's not me at all. And I certainly don't want to see Gary Russell Jr., who I think is a severely underrated fighter. He's never talked about on anybody's pound for pound list. For whatever reason, they choose to keep him off. It could be activity, it could be his just level of competition, but whatever. And for me, the dude is one of the most skilled boxers in the sport, and there's no effing way. I think there's guys at 130 that beat him. I think there's a ton of guys. I think there's guys with belts at 130 that beat him. I think there's guys without belts at 135 that beat him. I think that most of the top 5 or top 10 at 140 beat him. I think most of the guys in the top 15 outside of the champions beat him at 147. So why the hell do I need to see him fight Terence Crawford?
Brown gone 1 in the building. Ugly Cuz in the building. Jose Yepes. What's good with your Jose? Look, let me tell you something, bro.
Sergey Lipinets. I don't want to see fight Gary Russell Jr.
Matador in the building. Hold on right quick, Smoke. Matador in the building. What's good with you, Matador? Appreciate you coming through. Punch Drunk, I'm surprised you ain't clicked that link yet. I'm always behind in the chat, guys. I'm just trying to make sure I ain't miss nobody. But look. Check Collins, Max Tuckerman, Check Collins, what's up? Chopstick. Look, man, Gary Russell Jr. is so many people like Burchell. I mean, so many people in between Gary Russell and Terence Crawford. So many names he could challenge. Just like Smoke said, some of them will still probably whoop his ass, right? Why Crawford? Why even talk about that? To me, that's just nothing. It's got to be a clout chase. It's just got to be clout chasing, bro.
Yeah,
Why else even talk about that fight?
I think like everyone bashes Devin Haney for fighting Santiago. I think Santiago might stop Gary Russell Jr. Like, what are we talking about?
No, Smoke. You know what? You tried to pull that off. Devin Haney still get bashed for fighting Santiago.
I hear you. I'm just talking about Gary Russell Jr. as viable as a welterweight. I don't think he's viable as a lightweight. I don't think he's viable as a lightweight tune-up fight for one of the champs. Any of the guys that the champs beat. Gary Russell Jr. might be able to get past Ray Beltran. Maybe.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's like I said, there's weight classes for a reason. He should be at 126 or 130, not fighting 147 or 140 pounders. Get out of here with that. Get out.
And
Regis Prograis will like punch a hole through that dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd kill him, Smoke. He'd kill him.
Yeah.
Even if you like, I will say this about Gary Russell and Terence Crawford. Even if you evened out the size, I still don't think he beats Terence Crawford. I know Gary Russell got fast hands and all, but
he don't throw enough punches and he don't hit hard enough.
Yeah. So even if you evened out the size, like if they were around the same size fighters, I still don't see Gary Russell beating Terence Crawford. But now you add that element of the bigger fighter, smaller fighter, man, it's no fucking way in hell. No way in hell. If it was the opposite, like Terence Crawford was the smaller guy, that would be more of a fight. But Gary Russell being the smaller guy, nah. No way, bro.
Even if Gary Russell came in at 147 and he fought Burchell at 130, I still don't know that he beats Burchell with Burchell weighing 17 pounds lighter than the guy. Like he just don't hit hard enough. Like maybe at some point he's gonna become a beast, but I mean he's slick, he's good. Like I said, I love Gary Russell. I love me some Gary Russell Jr., but you got to bend the laws of physics and throw suspend your disbelief in order to even imagine this fight. What the bookie going to say? What the bookie's going to say? What's the betting line going to be?
Let me ask you this, Smoke, because you said that you don't know why, like, you talk about pound for pound, then you talked about Gary Russell. How can you be pound for pound? And I'm speaking of Gary Russell, with the guys you fought, but how many times a year you were fighting? Like, he didn't give us enough to be pound for pound. Like, with his resume or with the amount of times he fought.
Listen, if people want to discredit him, peace, Johnny. If people want to discredit, and people's pound for pound lists or whatever they are, right? For me, I never really took into consideration how often the guy fought, because Floyd only fought once a year, and Floyd was my pound for pound guy. I knew guys couldn't beat him. Didn't matter how often he fought. He could have fought more often and just proven the same thing, but maybe he wouldn't have proved it. Maybe he would have. It's just not part of my criteria. I'm not mad if it's part of somebody else's. And I think Floyd actually fought better people than Gary Russell Jr., right? So it's not an apples to apples comparison. But I'm just saying the frequency part of it didn't really enter my mind. I see what the guy is able to do, and I see what he's able to do at the highest levels of his particular weight class, at least against the guys who are willing to fight him. Right?
Well, how he look against Lomachenko?
I thought he looked great. He just looked undersized. I mean, but that's also Gary Russell Jr.'s, like, that was his first title defense. At that point, Lomachenko was the more experienced fighter with, in his third fight.
He wasn't the more experienced pro.
He was more experienced in title fights.
I'm just saying though, he wasn't the
I'm just
more
saying. I'm
experienced
saying too. That
professional.
was Gary Russell. That was Loma's second title shot, and that was Gary Russell Jr.'s first.
Yeah, but he wasn't the more experienced professional. That's my point.
No. I mean, sure, but it's the number of fights. Is that like what was that for Gary Russell Jr.? Maybe his 15th fight, something like that, and it was Loma's third fight. But but Loma had a way more extensive amateur career and did a semi-pro and already had a title defense against a guy in Toledo who is way more experienced than everybody else Gary Russell Jr. faced.
Yo, again, I don't know. I'm not like, again, I'm not, Gary Russell just did, to me, didn't do enough to be pound for pound. I mean, he's good.
Yeah, no, it's more of a skills thing, and like I said, I can understand if somebody would discount him. I'm not mad at it. I'm not like, oh, you're just on some bullshit, yada yada yada. His resume isn't that like those guys are not the highest skilled guys. You can see flaws in him. He's able to exploit them. I get it, but I feel that same way about some Loma guys too. So, and definitely some Canelo guys, and definitely some Crawford guys.
Let me ask y'all this in the chat. I want to get a vote on this. Y'all got the fire emojis. So, how many of y'all give Crawford heat, bro? If you give Crawford heat, put the fire emojis up. Let me put mine in the chat right now, because at this point, I gotta say I'm giving Crawford heat. I'm giving Crawford heat, and I won't stop giving him heat unless Bob Arum and Bo Mack and them start taking prime fighting champion and give him some heat. I'm giving them heat. I say Crawford under fire, turn the fucking heat up, bro. I'm giving them heat because they're not even talking about entertaining, negotiating, or anything concerning Keith Thurman. There's not even any discussions about it. So at this point, I have to give him heat.
Yeah, I can't go to the chat from like the way my thing is set up, but yeah,
okay.
That's one fire. That's a fire.
Smoke got fire. Smoke giving them heat. France on 2 giving them heat. The Texan, he said, I don't like using emojis, but fire. The Texan giving them heat. Victor giving them heat. Chopstick says Morales with the dirty Texas getting outboxed in the first 24 rounds. Okay, talking about that. He tells some Gary Russell was 24-0 versus Loma. Oh yeah, Smoke.
What?
I didn't. He said he was 24-0. He had more than 15 fights. He was 24-0 versus Loma.
All right, cool.
Which means, like I said, the professional experience. Jose Yepes, Chet Collins, Matador, giving Crawford heat. Jose Yepes said Pacquiao lost to Death Horny. Soccer trainer. Jose, you give Crawford heat or no? Soccer training club said Bud should walk and talk like the boogeyman. No exceptions. Facts. I mean, he supposedly came and took that title or that, that surname from Errol Spence, Boogeyman. So if you're the boogeyman, you should be all right, Thurman. Come get this work. There shouldn't even really be no concerns or no discussions, because here's another fact. Like Smoke said, if you can afford Pacquiao, you can afford Thurman. We can't talk about money, Bob. You're talking about making a Pacquiao fight. Pacquiao's going to cost more money than Thurman. That's for sure. I don't get it with this. There's no excuse that I'm hearing from Bob Arum. Forget about what Bo Mack says, but about fighting champions, because Bob Arum's talking about the money, and they're looking at Pacquiao. Well, Pacquiao costs more. Bo Mack is talking about not fighting champions not fighting fighters without a title. Well, Kell Brook don't have no title. So the things that Bo Mack and Bob Arum are saying, they're contradicting themselves. Because, Bob, you're talking about a Pacquiao fight. We know that fight's more. That's going to cost you much more money than Terence Crawford versus Keith Thurman. And Bo Mack, you running your mouth about we only fighting champions. Is Kell Brook a fucking champion? No. No, he's not. If that's what your bosses or you the guys that set your fights up, that's the fight that they're talking about. They're negotiating, and he's no champion. Not at all.
Bomac said he was going to hand deliver an offer to Spence after the Khan fight, right?
Yeah.
You know, Bomac, but he did say that they're not looking to Kell Brook either. But that's
Yeah, but
Bomac.
that's
Bob
not what
said
Bob
something
is saying. That's not what Bob is saying.
No, I mean that whole scapegoating thing that the Top Rank does, it only works for so long, right? The real comes out. We have the fans have a knee-jerk reaction, and then we form our opinions, but it shows, right? I mean, I always thought they were just this entire thing has been game about building a fight for later on, like when they as a cash-out fight, like.
Yeah, 819 Warrior. Who said that? Hell no, man. He wouldn't throw no fight. Man, he ain't throwing no fight. Oh, Chopstick. Chopstick said Manny is the one to make money and throw the fight. I'm like, hell no, Chopstick. Hell no. That's what he was talking about. Let me tell you something, Chopstick. Manny Pacquiao, believe this or not, Chopstick, Manny Pacquiao is not the reason the Spence Pacquiao fight's not happening or the Spence Crawford fight. It ain't Manny Pacquiao, Chopstick. Manny Pacquiao's team, look, I don't know, you probably didn't see this, Chopstick. Manny Pacquiao came out and said in an interview, yeah, I'll fight Terence Crawford and Spence, either one of them. A week later, Manny Pacquiao's team came out and said they have no interest in Crawford or Spence. Chopstick. That's how that went down. Manny Pacquiao is too bold for his own good, fam. Too bold. Too much of a warrior for his own good. He's willing to take the fights that his own team don't think he should take. But a guy with that character, with everything he's done in boxing, or a fight, nah. Manny ain't throwing no fight, fam. I could never put that on Manny Pacquiao. What do you think, Smoke? You think Manny would do that? Make the fight with Bud and throw it?
For what?
Right.
There's no like. I mean, it's not like he's got 5 years left in the game. Like, why on your last fights would you try to throw one? Unless you think it's going to drum up interest in a rematch, but I don't think it would. You don't need to drum up interest. Who doesn't want to fight Manny Pacquiao again? As many times as you can.
What are you talking about? He threw his first KO loss for a bigger payday.
You think he got knocked out on a dive? You think and you're gonna go all the way back to then and relate that to now? Do you think he took a dive against Juan Manuel Marquez? Are you such a Manny? It's kind of a weird thing. Like, you think Manny Pacquiao is either so good that nobody would knock him out, or that he has the character that he'd take dives for money.
Yeah, nah, Chopstick. I don't think you Chopstick. I think this is what I think. I think Chopstick is a big Floyd Mayweather fan and don't like Manny too much. That's what I think about Chopstick. Chopstick, you out of left field with that one, man. Manny ain't throwing no fight, bro.
Yo, I just wanted to say this real quick. So, Keith Thurman did the highest ratings of any boxing card in 2019 and was in the highest selling pay-per-view of 2019. So to say that, we're not interested in fighting Keith Thurman or dismissing him like it wouldn't help your career. And if you want 50-50 versus Spence, well, you're on your way to doing that fighting the Keith Thurman because he is a big commodity at welterweight division. So look, I see like a lot of people, man, they just can't accept the truth with certain scenarios because they, are big fans of Bud or big fans of Top Rank or just want to be right about PBC or whatever the fuck agenda that they have going on for their channel. But I'm keeping it real and consistent, and I don't really give a fuck what network you fight for. Right now, Bud Crawford, you need that fight. And that's just simple and plain. If you want 50-50 with Spence or whatever, then you got to tell Bob to stop penny pinching and open up the purse and make the fights. That's all I got to say about that. Thanks for having me on, D.
Always, bro. And Samuel Shaw come right in the building giving Bud that fire. And so all of y'all that don't know, if you giving Bud heat with me, put those flames up like Samuel Shaw just put up. There you go, right there. Put the flames up for Bud Crawford. Samuel said in the building, giving Bud that fire, but been giving heat when he had you guys and Lippin that said they wanted to smoke when nobody else wanted it. That's right. Saying, well, you remember I was talking about that. I was like, yo, go fight you guys, bro. You guys say he not scared. Y'all running around talking about nobody want to fight Crawford. Go fight you guys. You guys, all the Crawford fans like, you guys don't mean nothing. You guys this, that, and the third. Well, look, man. I keep talking about who don't mean nothing for Crawford, but he keep turning down any of the fights that's viable. Hell, even Lipinets. Sergey Lipinets. I would much rather see than a Kell Brook. I would rather see Thurman over Lipinets, but I would rather see him fight Lipinets. He can't fight you guys because you guys get ready to fight. Well, hell, I would rather see him fight you guys before Thurman, Brook, or any of them. Pacquiao, that's for sure. I think Crawford beats you guys, but I damn sure would like to see the fight. Yeah, I know Punch Jones. He went left field with that one. Chopstick usually on point, but sometimes they go left field. I don't know about Pacquiao throwing no fight. Yeah, he got knocked out. He got caught on that chopstick. Trust me. And the way he got hit in that fight, like Manny Pacquiao missed a punch and was coming into Marquez's punch. Dog, you don't throw no fight. Not getting hit like that. If you're going to throw a fight, it'll be some, little light hit and you go on down like, But you ain't going to take no goddamn punch. That was the perfect shot. That was the shot that all fighters, I think, wish they catch. They dream about catching somebody with a shot like that. That's the shot he got caught with from Marquez. Pacquiao almost looked like he was dead on the goddamn canvas. That ain't no setup punch. That punch was real.
Yeah, say what you will about what you think about his drug use, right? The suspicion about it, or whether or not you go along with it. But yeah, I think that might be the extent of it. I don't think the guy has losing on purpose in him. He got off the canvas in that fight.
Yeah, Carlos Mendoza. He just listed off Pacquiao, Morales, Barrera, Bradley, Thurman, Margarito, Mosley, Marquez, Cotto, Hatton, Hoyle, Broner, Matisse. Hell yeah, man. Pacquiao's a warrior, fam. That's one thing. You can question anything you want about Pacquiao, but you cannot question that man's heart.
How are you gonna mention all those dudes and not mention Floyd Mayweather?
Man, fuck Floyd. He lost.
Fuck Floyd. Like, how many of those guys did Floyd beat on that list?
But I'm saying, man, he lost to Floyd.
Yeah, but he still fought him, right? Do you think you think he threw the fight?
No. Ain't nobody in. Listen, man, fuck Floyd Mayweather.
Look, you can say fuck Floyd all you want, but if Floyd beat half the dudes on that list.
Yeah, nah, he should be on that list. I mean, shit. It ain't like Floyd washed him. So yeah, I agree, Smoke. He should be on that list. But even still, bro, Pacquiao, like I said, Pacquiao, that dude is too bold for his own good. You know what I mean? He's too bold for his own good. He'll get in the ring with a fight he shouldn't take. He definitely ain't up in no smoke or none of that shit. And he ain't taking no dive neither. It ain't in his character. I can't see Pacquiao taking no dive. I don't know. Jose Yepes. What's good, Jose?
Not much is right here, enjoying the chat like always in the stream. It's freaking getting hot as over here in this side of the country.
Maybe
it was 91 degrees yesterday here. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I was like, what the hell? Why is it so fucking hot? 91 degrees. In mid-August, that's amazing. It's usually like 60-some degrees by now, 65 or something. That's like over 105 here in Ohio. We're not used to that kind of weather.
Yeah, it was 103 it was 103 in the Bay, and it never gets like that. Like, man, I was passed out at the pool.
Facts, Max. Oh, yeah, you too, Smoke.
Yeah,
But Max
same
said
here.
people thought
Same here in
Manny
Southern
was
Cali.
done in
100 degrees.
2013. He's still top 10 pound for pound at 41 exactly. They thought he was done back then. This is good for you guys.
Packy got the new. He got that 2030 stuff that people don't know about yet.
Yeah. What are you talking about, Ma? He said, no, it wasn't. It was. But that was last week? Nah, fuck that, bro. It was. What's today? Oh, yeah, that was last week. Today, Monday, ain't it? But that was like Friday. Like, I don't know, man. I'm losing my days. I'm fucking around on this thing too much.
It was Friday here. Friday was blazing.
Yeah, it must have been Friday. You right, Mark. It was probably Brown Gone One said 98 ain't shit, B. Yes, it is in Ohio. I used to live down in Tampa, Florida. Brown Gone One. I used to stay down in South Carolina. I know hot. Don't get me wrong. I know what's hot, but for Ohio, for Columbus, Ohio, 91 degrees is like 105, fam. That's hot here. That's ridiculously hot. People start putting. You see this tank top? You see this tank top? This wife beater I'm wearing right now, Brown Gone One. Here in Ohio, when the weather gets to like 58 degrees, motherfuckers start wearing shit like this. Girls start coming out in shorts and all of that. Like 58, 60 degrees. Tell them I ain't lying, Martin Machine. Mar live here too. They start stripping down at 58, 60 degrees, fam. So when you start talking 91, shit, people probably ready to run around the streets naked in Columbus, Ohio, at 91 degrees. Man, I'll tell you. Yeah, man. Joshua Littlejohn said, do you think that Jamal Charlo should fight the vacant belt by... You know, that's interesting, Littlejohn. I don't think Jamal Charlo has the balls to do it, but I think he should. If you ask me, do I think he should? Fucking yeah, hell yeah.
They're saying they're gonna give that to Canelo. He's gonna fight for it.
Of course they're gonna give it to Canelo. Why wouldn't they? That's a belt for him at 168.
Yeah, he's gonna fight some dude I never heard of, Euromil, whatever. Can't pronounce his name.
Oh, you in Cali, Brown? Oh yeah, it gets hot over there, bro. Hot over there. Yeah, Mar know it. He know his facts, dog. I'm telling you, these motherfuckers start stripping down. 58, 60 degrees, they start stripping down. You go down to Texas with that 58, 60 degrees. Them motherfuckers outside in hoodies and jackets and shit. Some women wearing coats, full-blown coats at 55, 58 degrees. Motherfuckers walking out here in flip-flops and shorts at 55, 60 degrees in Ohio, fam.
I'm not
out here.
Yeah, 50 is cold. 50 is definitely cold here.
Man,
Texas, they do have the worst weather, bro. It gets hot out there. I went to Houston one time. That was the worst city I ever been.
It gets hot in Texas. But let me tell y'all something. I don't even put a coat on here until it get into the low 30s. Like 31, 32. Freezing is when I will just put a coat on. Other than that, like 50 degrees, 45 degrees, bro. I'm walking outside with a light jacket or nothing. No jacket on. Just a shirt.
I got one in Alaska. I got one of them South Pole Parkers at 50. Man, I'm talking about fur on the hood, all that.
50
all
degrees.
That Army surplus.
50 degrees, Smoke. I got a wife beater and a t-shirt on, and I'm walking around outside. No bullshit. No jacket, nothing. Now, I might be wearing some jeans or something, but that's it. In 50 or 60 degrees. That ain't cold. Nigga, it get minus 10, 15 here. With the wind chill, you talking, come on. 50 degrees? That's a relief. That's what that is. Talking about Ohio cold. That 50 degrees shit, that's a relief. People like, man, finally it ain't cold no more. Shit, 50 degrees, bro. I'm loving it. We outside playing basketball in shorts and goddamn 50 degrees out here, Jack. What you talking about?
Hey, D, what happened to that college team? Are they playing your
The
Ohio
college
State?
is out. College sports are out this season.
Even football, Ohio State, and all
Everything.
them.
Everything is out. All of them. Lacrosse, baseball, football. NCAA is out because of COVID. Ain't nothing
Man,
popping.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and those colleges, boy, those colleges hurt. You know how much money they make off them football, basketball, and baseball teams? They make money. Bang. They hurting
Well,
over that, bro. They losing a lot of
they
money.
pay for all the other sports, so I know they're hurting.
Ohio State, Columbus, Ohio is one of the top 10. It's in the top 10 richest cities. There's a lot of cities in this country. Cities, not states. This is in the top 10 richest cities in the United States of America. Well, professional sports teams, that's where they land themselves in, cities, profitable cities. Ohio State football team, the Buckeyes, they are so prominent and they make so much money and they're worth so much that the council here will not even allow professional sports teams to come here. No baseball team, no basketball team, no professional football team because of the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's how much they got Columbus, Ohio, top 10 in this nation on lock, fam. The only other professional team we have here is the Columbus Blue Jackets, a hockey team. That's
And
it.
the soccer team too, no, the Columbus Crew, or they're out.
Yeah, well, I don't. That's like division. That's like minor league. That's not the major league soccer. So they don't count. Like, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying.
I know the USA, their national team. I know they play there when they're qualifying for the World Cup.
This is
They
what I'm
play right
saying.
there.
That's how powerful when we talk about collegiate sport. You know that Ohio State is worth more than 85% of NFL teams. Their team value. They make more money than 85% of NFL teams. Imagine that. Ohio State. Alabama, the Crimson Tide, only the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins. I guess now New England Patriots, since they just passed the Washington Redskins, but only those three teams are worth more than Alabama. Imagine that shit, guys.
Well, the Lakers, didn't they?
Well, I was talking football. But Lakers, no, they're not. Cowboys are worth more than the Lakers. The Dallas Cowboys are worth more than the Lakers, and I'm pretty sure Ohio State Buckeyes are Man, football kills basketball, Jose Yepes. Basketball, they're not making nowhere near the money football is making. Those teams are not worth football teams, fam. Baseball, football, and soccer teams are the highest sports franchises, and soccer is number one and number two. But check this out about soccer. Manchester United is the number one franchise worldwide. But Manchester United's minor league soccer team is second, fam. The minor league team is worth more than fucking the Yankees and the fucking Cowboys and Redskins and shit. The minor league. But basketball, they're not even on the fucking list. None of them. They ain't even on the list, Jose. They're not even on the list. So basketball teams ain't worth nowhere near the money that these football teams are worth. And Ohio State Buckeyes is ridiculous the amount of money they make in this city. You go around this city, you see Buckeye everything. Buckeye garage, Buckeye mechanic shop, Buckeye nail shop, Buckeye sandwich shop, Buckeye everywhere around this fucking city, fam.
Yeah, the Lakers are the most valuable team. And then the Cowboys are the most,
in the NBA,
in the NBA, and the Cowboys are the most valuable in the NFL. But yeah, neither one of them crack anywhere near soccer, Real Madrid. Yeah, none of them.
No. Actually, that's not wrong. I was just doing. That's actually wrong, Smoke. I was just doing. I was just in a discussion with somebody on their channel about this. The Dallas Cowboys are actually up there.
I know they are. They're like 4th or 5th. And so the Lakers are the Lakers are a top 10 also, but the rest, everyone else is all soccer teams.
No. Okay, sports franchises all around Lakers are not in the top 10. That's what I'm telling you. It's all football, baseball.
Stop hating on the Lakers, D.
No. Go look it up, fam. I'm not. It's not hate.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Now I'm about to look it up right now. It used to be. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I haven't looked in a while.
It's baseball.
So let me check it out.
It's baseball, football, and soccer teams. Look it up.
Yeah, the last time I actually looked, I think Dwight Howard was a Laker, right? So let me take a look.
I don't know, but Dwight Howard. Okay, that was a while ago. Now football's killing it, bro. And they took the football more than doubles basketball and TV revenue. The television network more than doubles. They're at $8.8 billion.
Maybe after the Lakers win the championship this year, maybe their value will go up, right? With LeBron James and everybody.
I don't know, man. Lakers, like I said, Lakers are killing it in basketball, but basketball and the sport altogether, like, you know, I don't know what the numbers will be after this COVID situation, because baseball was up there, and baseball's going to take let me tell you something, all you baseball fans, baseball's going to take a killing, a real beating over this COVID situation. Baseball has been up there because of their stadium presence.
Yeah.
You understand? Because of their stadiums get packed. That's where they were making all of their money. But now that the COVID situation has come in and attacked this, baseball's not making a lot of money because their network share.
They average more than a million fans a season. The Dodgers did.
Yeah, but their network share was 3rd. It was barely over hockey. See, their network share was $2.5 billion. And it dropped, matter of fact, I think in 2020 to like $1.9 billion. Basketball was $4.2 billion. So that was killing baseball, the revenue, the network share. But football was $8.8 billion in revenue share for the networks, which means baseball, even though it was still considered one of the highest paid sports for their athletes, the reason they were still on top like that was because of the stadium presence. They were packing in all of them stadiums, and they play 132 games a season, where compared to football, they was making all of that money off of this 16 games.
And the $20 freaking tall can. That shit is crazy.
And then,
$20 for a freaking tall can.
Basketball only playing 82 games, but baseball playing over 100 games. So they was packing in all of that money, but it was based on the stadium presence. All of that shit is abolished. So baseball is in shambles as far as revenue. But football and basketball, they can actually recoup because of the media presence. They're still going to have a lot of media presence. A lot of people weren't watching baseball. It wasn't the American pastime on the boob tube anymore. It was actually in the stands. Well, nobody in the stands right now. So baseball's suffering like a motherfucker, fam. Yankees. Damn right, bro. I'm going one. My man, that's right. Yankees. That's my team too, dog. New York Yankees.
So far, I have Lakers in the top 10 according to Forbes. They got the Patriots and the Patriots and the Cowboys is number 2, and Real Madrid coming in 3rd, according to Forbes. But I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. This. Let me get a look back. There's several lists. If you just go right on the thing, there's actually a lot of American teams that I wouldn't expect. Like it has Patriots, Cowboys, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Yankees, Manchester United, Knicks, and then Lakers. And then after that, the Warriors, the Giants, the Redskins, the Dodgers, the Niners. Yeah, this is all American sports teams.
Yeah, because of the network, bro. The networks. Yeah. That's why I was just talking about that. The network share of this stuff. Like people, look, when we look at boxing, why is America so valuable as far as like ticket sales and numbers and all that in boxing? Because of the network share. This country has the most people that watch the fucking television.
Yeah.
This is where you sell at. So that's what's going to make. So it says here too.
It's all football. It's a bunch of football teams. You get like in the top, it's all foot. The only thing you get is a Yankees at the top. And then you get the Lakers and the Warriors, and the rest is football.
That's what I was saying, man. I was telling you that
Chicago
TV share
Giants
is
come in,
football.
the Sox, then it's the Bronco and the Cubs.
So yeah, I must be off on. When is this? When was this? When's the date on this article? What's the date on this article?
This is July 2020.
2020, yeah. Yo, this is a new article, so that's crazy because look at football is killing it, dog. Football is killing it.
Football is absolutely murdering the game.
They're killing it. They done passed up Madrid. They done passed up both soccer teams, bro.
Well, they're saying that the $18 billion of ad revenue was mostly mostly was going to NFL.
That's what I was just talking about, the network share, bro.
Yeah.
They fucking killing it on the network share. You're talking about baseball that was #1 rated for so long, bro. Now the difference is 1.9 billion to 8.8 billion. The NFL is fucking destroying baseball. And they're doubling basketball. They're more than doubling basketball, which it was a couple of basketball teams up there now. Revenue share makes that much of the difference, guys. This shows you just how important the revenue share is and why baseball is getting ready to get murdered right now. This shows you right here. Because I think the last time I looked at that list, was just last year, fam. Just last year. Not even 8 months ago. And look at those numbers now. Top 10 teams.
Yeah, they got the Knicks being more. They have the Knicks being more profitable than the Lakers. I did not know that. Like, yeah.
Well, man, that's because of Madison Square Garden, bro. You can suck at Madison Square Garden, and you still gonna fucking sell there. James Dolan is a lucky bastard, bro, because his team don't have to be good for him to make money.
New York is the #1 market in the country, right? That's the largest market. California is the second largest market. Both of them are larger than most countries' economies, right? So the Knicks being in New York, I mean, it makes sense, but damn, I didn't know. I just didn't know. They got the Knicks and the Yankees. They have two top 10 sports teams.
The thing is, you know why? Because the stadiums, both stadiums, especially Madison Square Garden.
Wait a minute, they have 4 in the top 15. The Giants are here, the Jets are here.
Yeah. Listen. This is why. Because you know they were sharing a stadium at one point. But this is why. These stadiums, these venues in New York. I used to stay in New York for 5 years. The venues in New York, bro, it's a social gathering. It ain't even really about the fucking sports there. Y'all go to New York and go to the fucking games. You go like Baltimore, go to an Orioles game. Because that was my first game I ever went to, baseball game, was an Orioles game. You go to Baltimore and you go to the Orioles game, the fans are into the game. You go to New York Yankees, half the fans in the game, half of it is a fucking social convention. You go to Giant Stadium, social convention. Go to Madison Square Garden, it's a fashion show, a social convention. Don't nobody give a fuck about the event, hardly. That's what Madison Square Garden is. And so the fucking stadium gets packed regardless of the action on the floor. A lot of these markets with, got their stadiums and stuff. If the team is not succeeding, the stadiums are not really packed. People don't come out. They come out when their team is winning. It ain't like that in Madison Square Garden. If an event is happening, people come buy tickets because it's a social event.
Yeah, like if you go to the Staples Center, you go to a Clippers game versus going to a Lakers game. Yeah, the Lakers game is definitely a social event.
A social event, bro. It's a bunch of fucking people there just because they can say I'm at a Lakers game. That's how it is in New York. It's a fucking social event. So they're going to keep selling. That's why that team is worth so much money. People going to keep buying New York Knicks jerseys and hats and paraphernalia no matter how much they fucking suck. People going to keep buying jerseys. New York Giants jerseys and Eli Manning and all of this bullshit. No matter how much they suck, they're going to keep purchasing that stuff. Keep buying the alcohol at the social events. They don't give a shit about the game. We go into the game knowing the Knicks going to lose. I'm a Knicks fan. Been a Knicks fan for 30 years. We walk into the game knowing they're going to lose. They don't give a shit about the game. It's about who's there. Let's have some fun. Let's drink. and tell people, oh yeah, I was just with him at the Knicks game. So that you can say I was with this person at the Knicks game. That's all it is in New York, man. I'm telling you, y'all go to New York, y'all would be surprised if you're a basketball fan. You're like, what the fuck is this, bro? You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. But anyway, Smoke, give me some closing thoughts, man. Ricky E245 in the building. What's good? Oh, yeah, he said, yup, facts, D. In New York, it's a social event. Hell yeah, Ricky probably been down there. Barclays, Barclays the same way, dog. Barclays is the same way, dog. No lie. Dirt and the model, what's good with you? Salute to you. We get ready to shut it down now. I love that. I love that that icon picture, right? That shit's priceless. Give me some closing thoughts, Smoke.
Right. So, they don't have an emoji that's smaller than a campfire, right? So I feel like the heat should be turned up because I just don't like the vibes that Terence Crawford is sending. But I don't know if it's a full-on campfire, right? His last opponents, the way he's been looking, he needs some heat, and whatever heat he's been feeling, it needs to be turned up. How hot it gets, it depends on his next move, but he's still my number one guy. So, just turn up, man. Do something. It's time to do something. And another live one. I'm sorry I missed Power of the Mind this past Sunday, but
they didn't send my notifications out, Smoke. I went for like 2 hours, almost 3 hours, and we maxed out at 16 people. We was hovering around like 8 people.
Yeah,
it was the title. I know what I did wrong. It was the title. That title that I put up there,
I didn't catch you. I don't know what happened, but anyway.
It was about, I'll tell you real quick, it was about the kids. This child trafficking and all this situation. And the title I put up was too suggestive. So I'm pretty sure they seen that title and they was like, oh, no. We're not letting this information get out. And they slammed the fuck out of me, bro. Everybody, like most of the people that did come in said that they didn't even get notifications. They slammed the fuck out that live. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
You know how I go.
It's boxing is heating up. We're starting to get some names, in the prediction league. I don't even have to look at a bunch of film. I know these dudes.
Congratulations is in order to get this Smoke, IBT, YC Routman. Congratulations to y'all guys. Seriously, man. I ain't even tripping right now on this prediction league because they here to play. Those guys here to play this season, and they're not joking around. Get the Smoke. IBT already been on the leaderboard. Eric Ferdinand been on the leaderboard. Although he's not up there like in the top. So I will tell you guys this. Get the Smoke, IBT. You already know. Y'all keep up the good work because, like I said, my last name Jefferson. And then moving on up.
I hear you. And you know what? You kind of look like him. See, I'm old enough to get the reference. I always thought it was funny when you kick people backstage because that's George Jefferson's thing. Like Martin stole that from George Jefferson.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Don't get the doorknob hit you, all that. Anyway.
All right.
Peace, man. Next time.
Peace out, man. Appreciate you, Smoke. All right, guys. So here's my closing thoughts on this. I like Terence Bud Crawford. I've never been against Terence Bud Crawford. Never had any problems with Terence Bud Crawford. Only his fans that was talking the foolery about my guy Spence. And I've actually defended Terence Crawford and will continue to defend Terence Crawford. But at the same token, I do keep the same energy over here. And I'm turning the flames up. At the end of this live, Terence Crawford's getting the heat. You get the heat. We want Keith Thurman. We want Pacquiao, and we don't want anything else. Anything less is uncivilized. And y'all know how I always in this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.